Good morning, students. I think you might have studied the lessons, everyday's lessons. Today we are going to the last topic, new financial institutions in the capital market. We know they provide long-term capital in the capital market. Capital market consists of commercial banks, development banks and stock exchanges. Now, some new financial institutions have also been established to provide credit facilities for the industry and the needed people. Let us see one by one. The first one is venture fund institutions. First one is venture fund institutions. It is not entirely new institution. This venture fund institution is a addition to the existing institution. If I say the example first, you will understand. We have studied some development banks, IFCI, Industrial Financial Corporation of India. So this institution has started a new financial institution, that is venture fund institution, Risk Capital Foundation. Risk Capital Foundation of IFCI. Here risk capital you should know why it is given as risk capital. When we start a big project, we do not know whether we are able to gain profit or loss. So it is a risk to start a new project or innovating a new idea, to promote a new company. That is, for that purpose they are providing fund. That is why IFC has started one new venture fund institution, that is called Risk Capital Foundation of IFCI. Then another one, venture fund of IDBI. But what stands for IDBI? Industrial Development Bank of India. Industrial Development Bank of India. It has started venture fund of IDBI. Again another bank, another development bank, SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India. Small Industries Development Bank of India, that has also started a new venture fund institution. Then another one, entirely new one, technology development. They may provide for the new introducing new technologies, or technology development and Infrastructure Corporation of India. And Infrastructure Corporation of India. Infrastructure, you know, that construction, building, everything. So Infrastructure Corporation of India. And many others also there. Let us learn all these four only. The last one, Technology Development and Infrastructural Corporation of India. So this one is for the infrastructure or for the technology development, they are providing this fund. So it is called venture fund institution. Now we will come to know. Now we will learn what is the meaning of venture fund institution. They are providing finance, or they are financing. This venture fund institutions, they will finance the equity financing. They are providing equity capital for what? For new and innovative project ideas. New and innovative. Both are new only. Innovative projects. For this purpose, they are providing fund or loan. Long-term loans they will be providing. So here, these three development banks have started this venture fund institutions. that IFC has started Risk Capital Foundation of IFCI, IDBI's Venture Fund of IDBI, then SIDBI, Venture Fund of SIDBI. Then another one, Technology Development Infrastructure Corporation of India, that in short it is written TDICI. And since it is providing venture, that equity capital for new and innovative projects. Here they have started, many development banks have started their own venture capital funds. Understood? Now this one, venture fund institution. Here small questions will be there, or they will ask any 5, for the 5 marks they will ask any 5 new financial institution. That is the long answer. So you have to learn, you have to listen carefully. Now the second one is mutual fund. You might have heard mutual fund advertisement in TVs or in newspapers. You might have seen mutual fund. Even ordinary people also will be depositing their money, saving. Their saving will be converted into capitals that lead to capital formation, that will be given to the companies, those who are engaged in productive field. So mutual funds. So what they do, these mutual fund financial institutions, that financial institutions, they provide facilities for channeling the savings into productive investment. They are channelizing the savings of the public into productive investment. What the capital market does. Okay, financial markets main function is this one. They are acting as a channel. So they are channelizing the savings of the public into productive investment. That is their main function. So that is called mutual fund. So what is mutual fund? The financial institutions that provide facilities for channeling the savings of the small investors or the public into productive investments are called mutual funds. Now you might have understood. Okay, so in another term what we can say, they collect the savings from the investors. Here public we can tell them, not the whole public, those who are investing, they are called investors. So they collect the investment or the savings from the investors, and they give this investment to the productive field, the industries we can say. And what they provide for these investors, they are given a reasonable return, or we have learned already. A reasonable return means they are giving either interest or dividend. If they invest in companies, they will get, that is called dividend. If we invest money in the shares of any companies, we never say that income is interest. That is called dividend. Simply if we provide any loan for other people, we collect interest from them. That is the difference. But both are the return, that gain that we receive for our investment. That is called interest or dividend. That is the reasonable return. Now we will see some of the examples of mutual funds. Here all these new financial institutions will be started by many development banks. Here the financial institution will start their own mutual funds. It is a separate service they do. They are acting as a channel to collect the savings of the investors and to direct them towards the industries, or that is the productive investment. Let us see that financial institution example. All these are the examples we have learned first. Now the examples we are learning. Here LIC has also started mutual fund. Then UTI, LIC you know, Life Insurance Corporation, Unit Trust of India, that is called UTI, and the commercial banks. Commercial bank is nothing but our ordinary bank. What? State Bank of India, State Bank of India, Canara Bank, we can say. All these banks, all this we can say commercial banks. Then this one we can say financial institutions. They have started, they are carrying out their own this mutual fund business. They are calling it as a business, mutual fund, because this they are doing one business. They are collecting the amount from the public and giving them to the industry. So this one they are doing. That name we will learn. What is the name of that one? They do not have any particular name, but they do this business, this mutual fund business. Then now we will see what are the benefits they have. Benefits, they means not this institution, benefits for the investors. What are the benefits they derive from this mutual fund? High return, that we have learned, no? Reasonable return, that is the main benefit. If you invest in mutual fund, in future if you earn money, you can invest your savings in mutual fund. Okay, there is high return. High return means interest or dividend we will get more. Then easy liquidity. You know well, I have explained many times what is liquidity. We can convert this into cash. So easy liquidity. Then safety. Nobody will steal and go, isn't it? We are safely keeping with the mutual fund. They will keep it as safe. So safety is there. And tax benefits, that is the main important thing. You should not forget. You may earn a lot of income in future. That time what you can do, you can invest in this mutual funds. There is no need to pay tax for the amount that you are investing in mutual funds. So tax benefits to the, all these are to the investors. Understood? We could get high return, then easy liquidity, safety and tax benefits for the investors. You might have understood this mutual fund. So you listen carefully, at least 5 if you learn. Then if you listen only, you can learn and no need to study also. You can write it correctly. Okay. Another important new financial institution is factoring institution. It is entirely a new term, factoring institution. I will explain what it is. So factoring is what? An arrangement. It is an arrangement with that bank, with a bank or one facility they are having. Actually this factoring is, they have to perform a responsibility. That institution has to perform one responsibility on behalf of its client. For example, that is State Bank, we can say State Bank of India or Canara Bank. They are having their own factoring institution. This what they do, this factoring institution, they will collect the book debts. What is book debts? Debt, you know, kadan, isn't it? Yet kadan. What is the meaning? That the debtors we might have learned, isn't it? In accountancy, we are learning debtors. So that nowadays what is happening in India, even you know, many of the big business people, especially Malaya, he has many debts in the bank, but he is not able to pay, and they are giving a subsidy. That is considered as bad debts. So, not they want to avoid that kind of bad debts in the business, because that loan will be provided by the banks, this State Bank of India, Canara Bank, or Reserve Bank of India, whatever it is. After collecting the debts, they have to repay that debts within the time limit. If they do not pay, that debts will become bad debts. So the bank is afraid, they want to collect those debts. They cannot go behind the debtors and collect. Instead of going behind them, they will allot that responsibility to some institution. That institution is called factoring institution. So that factoring institution will be working for these banks or on behalf of the bank, on behalf of their client, we can say. That is the client. Who has appointed them? This banks. So they will be working for these banks. So they will collect the book debts from the customers. They will contact the customers through phone, or if it is in need, they will go in person directly to their houses and they will ask for the collection. They will contact them. That is called factoring. They will be collecting the book debts for and on behalf of their clients. We have some factoring institutions. Here only these two banks have established this factoring institution. They have this one special service. Name of that factoring institution are SBI Factors and Commercial Services Private Limited. They have started this as a company, but it will be a subsidiary company, because limited means it is a company, but it is a subsidiary company of, you might have studied subsidiary company, holding company, isn't it? Subsidiary company of State Bank of India, because it will be under the control of State Bank of India. Then another factoring institution is established by Canara Bank, that is Can Bank Factors Limited. Name is short, isn't it? This is the subsidiary company of whom? The Canara Bank. Understood now? The examples, factoring institution, they are collecting the book debts. So they may, I think they may provide, these companies may provide financial assistance to these banks, and afterwards they may collect the book debts from the customers. That's why they provide some loan for that. That is the thing, because that's why it is coming under capital market. Okay, now the fourth one is over-the-counter exchange of India. I have already told you this one, over-the-counter exchange of India. In the examples we have seen already. Counter exchange of India. The short form is OTCEI. OTCEI. The online stock exchange. Over the counter. Through the counter we can buy or sell shares. So there is trading of securities. What is over the counter exchange of India? It was set up to allow the trading of securities through the electronic counters. Electronic counters. That means through online. Okay. Here also we have many benefits. What are the benefits that we have? if we purchase through the over-the-counter exchange of India, but not through the stock exchange situated in big cities. Here what are the benefits that we have? Transparency of transactions. So that means very clear transactions. There no middleman will be there. They are brokers, jobbers, many people are there that you will learn in future. So here it is given as transparency of transactions. All the transactions carried on will be very clear. So because the rate will be written there, nobody will be coming in between to bargain with you. So that rate and all will be very clear. So the transaction is very transparent, very clear. Then since it is through counter, through computer, online, deals will be very quick deals. Then how they will settle? The settlement will be very fast. So faster settlement, then better liquidity, that is there. Why better liquidity? If we think now, just we have to through online we can buy and sell. Understand, many benefits are available if we purchase and sell through this over-the-counter exchange of India. Okay, you might have understood the fourth one. Now the fifth one. National Stock Exchange of India. National Stock Exchange of India. This one newly established. NSEI. National Stock Exchange of India was established in the year 1992. Understood? Even SEBI was established 1988. After again 4 years after only this National Stock Exchange. Only one stock exchange in India, that is National Stock Exchange. It is functioning as a model stock exchange because we have learnt 24 stock exchanges are there. For all these stock exchanges, it is acting as a model. Here many advantages are there. There is no need of going to the floor. There we say floor sale. Here floorless sale will be available. No need to go to the floor directly to sell or buy. We have not seen what is happening there. What is given in the book only I could explain. Understand? Floorless trading is available. That floorless trading system is available in the National Stock Exchange. There we have learned in stock exchange floor, particular floor, first floor or second floor, all the customers have to gather there, the brokers will be there, many procedures are there. But here floorless trading system is available. Here also we have the same advantage, that efficient trading system, it is efficient, and as that floorless, we have the transparency of the transaction is also available. But in the Mumbai Stock Exchange, Chennai Stock Exchange, if we go, we have to go to the floor. So there will be some complications, some confusions because of the brokers or the jobbers. Okay, but here that a system will be very efficient and transparency is there. Then the next one. Sixth one is National Clearance and Depository System. National Clearance and Depository System. NCDS. This depository clearance means that when we clear the transactions, clearing of the documents, depository system, how that is electronic payment that will be coming. This one we will be learning in future in detail. What is depository system? Here under this system, that all the transactions we call as that is scriptless trading system, because all these settlements are done through electronic book entry. They will enter in the book, but electronic book entry will be made for all the clearing activities. So there are 3 segments in this National Clearance and Depository System. 3 parts are there. What are those parts? If you learn that one, you will understand this National Clearance and Depository System. First one, National Trade Comparison and Reporting System. National Trade Comparison. You have to learn these words as it is given there. And reporting system. This system prescribes the terms and conditions of the market. Terms and conditions. That means rules and regulations we say. Okay, the norms, conditions, all these will be prescribed by this system. Okay, who will be giving the first terms and conditions? This National Trade Comparison and Reporting System for all the securities market. Understood? That is the first segment. The second one is National Clearing System. National Clearing System. First one, reporting system, they provide the terms and conditions. The second one is National Clearing System. Here about the clearing they will be saying. It is determining the net cash and stock liability. How much cash a particular broker can have on a particular date. Net cash and stock liability. How many stock? Stock here, it includes all the shares, debentures, everything is considered as the stock. So the net cash and the stock liability of a broker on a settlement date, it will determine, or it will settle, or it will determine, it will prescribe. It will determine the net cash and the stock liability of a broker on a settlement date. On a particular date, a particular person can have only this much net cash in his hand, or this many number of stocks only he should have. So that will be determined by this National Clearing System. So the first National Trade Comparison and Reporting System, it prescribes the terms and conditions of the contract for all the securities market. Then the second one, National Clearing System, it determines the net cash and the stock liability of each broker on the settlement date. On a particular date, how much cash he has to settle, or how much stock liability he is having. Understood the 2 segments? Now the third one is National Depository System. National Depository System. National Depository System. So now both the systems have come now. Clearing system, depository system. National Depository System. National Depository System. This National Depository System, how to make the transfer of ownership. It is related to the transfer of ownership after the payment. How the settlement takes place? The one who purchases has to pay the amount. One who sells, he has to hand over the securities, isn't it? But without physical transfer of securities, physical movement of the transfer deed, they will settle the transaction. That is done by this national depository system. So through the electronic ledgers or book entry, I told you in the first one, through book entry in the electronic ledgers. Electronic ledgers, they settle the transactions without transferring the ownership. Now you might have understood the three segments of the National Clearance and Depository System. The seventh one is National Securities Depositories Limited. National Securities Depositories Limited. It is situated in the year 1996. Okay, this one, it is related to the dematerialization. You will be learning in another lesson what is dematerialization. That means till now we are purchasing share and they will be providing one certificate called share certificate. But we can, each certificate will be named one by one. We should have a particular number with us. But that means electronic purchasing. That's all. In short, it is electronic purchasing. They can purchase, as now we withdraw money in the ATM. No need to go to the bank to withdraw money. We are depositing. We are in the through the ATM machine. We can deposit the cash deposit machine, and the ATM machine we are withdrawing money. In the same way, we can purchase and sell shares through dematerialization. That means many problems are solved through this National Securities Depositories Limited. Then the eighth one is Stock Holding Corporation of India Limited. Stock Holding Corporation of India Limited. SHCIL. Okay, SHIL. What is the main aim of this organization, this institution? What they do? It is serving as the Central Securities Depository. Here, this is the central institution, the apex institution for all the transactions on the stock exchange. Many transactions are happening in the stock exchange. So for all these stock exchanges, it is considered as the only central securities depository institution. And it is acting as the administration. Because it is the central organization, it is acting as the administration of clearing functions national level. For clearing functions. At national level. Central government we say no. That's the only one central government. It is controlling all the state governments. In the same way, it is acting as the central institution for all the controlling all the stock exchanges, and it is acting as the administration, administering the managing all the clearing functions at national level. Understood all the 8 organizations I have explained to you. You have to learn at least 5 clearly. Now again we need to learn 4 more markets. Foreign exchange market. We might have heard this foreign exchange market. We can convert our currencies into for any foreign currency, or foreign currency, those who work in abroad, they are sending money through this foreign exchange market only. They will convert that currency into our currency and they will deliver it in India. So here all the currencies of the world will be transacted in this foreign exchange market. Here who can be the participants? All currencies can be included, and who can be the participants? Maybe the individual, those who are working in foreign countries, the individuals or company or even countries also can be the participants of this foreign exchange market. Understood? Then the next one is commodity market. Commodities market, we know commodities means the products. The physical appearance will be there. Physical products will be bought and sold in the commodities market. In this commodity markets may be divided into two. One is hard commodities market. Hard commodities, soft commodities. What are the hard commodities? All the raw materials. Raw materials may be or the which are mined from the earth. Example, gold, oil, then rubber. Rubber is not mined actually. Then iron ore. All these are the hard commodities. What are the soft commodities? Soft commodities are the agricultural products. Agricultural products such as what are the agricultural? Wheat, rice, coffee, sugar, all these are the soft commodities. Then the next one, derivatives market. We might not have heard this one, derivatives market. This one, some financial instruments are there. We will learn these financial instruments in the forthcoming chapters in future. The financial instruments such as futures, it is one instrument's name, futures, contracts, options. We will learn this one in future. I will explain. Okay. So all these markets facilitates this futures, contracts, options. There will be some financial risk in trading. Okay, so that financial risk will be restricted through this derivatives market. Okay, so you might have understood all these, that other three markets: foreign exchange market, commodities market, and derivatives market. We have completed all the full lesson. Now let us mark the question answers. Here the second one, when the NSE was established, 1992. All the others we have marked. Now very short answer, second one, write a note on what is CEI. It is in page number 34. This OTCI, fully you have to write, over the counter exchange of India. Then this one you can mark. When I have explained, I have told you everything. In that way also you can mark and learn. Next question. What is mutual fund? That is page number 33. Mutual fund, this first sentence you can mark. Then in the next page, these examples you mark. Then the benefits, last one. This one, 3 points you mark. Now the third question, write a note on National Clearance and Depository System, page number 34. The sixth system, National Clearance and Depository System, fully you can see, and I have explained that you can mark and learn, not fully. Okay. Fourth we have marked. Fifth one, explain about factoring and venture capital institutions. It is in page number 33 and 34. Venture fund, the first point up to here, then second point from here, then third point the examples. Venture fund. Now the next one, factoring. Factoring institution, first point this one, factoring institution, collect this one. Second one, this point, some of the factoring institutions. Well, fully you have to write, two institution only you have to write, only 2 points. Next question. Explain the various types of new financial institution. They will ask in bracket 5. So any 5 you learn. I have explained to you, that is in page number 33, the heading. 8 institutions are available. You learn any 5 because we have already learned the factoring, venture capital, then in the short answer mutual fund we have studied, OTCI we have studied, already 4 over. Then here we are learning national clearance, 5 over. So you have to learn all these question answers and write and see. And you have never obeyed my words. You have never sent any answers. At least you write and show to your parents and get a tick mark and keep for your sake. Okay students, thank you now.